Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another trade recap. Today's trade recap, I'm going to be going over what trade I ended up taking today, why I ended up taking it, and yeah, so today I ended up taking a long, and I ended up hitting full TP on this long. I think this long was pretty obvious. Definitely overall, on paper wise, it wasn't A+, like technically, mechanically wise, since the key level was a bit wish-wash, but overall, like, the narrative of this play was 100% A+ in my opinion, right? And this is I'm going to be going over and showing like how I kind of used a bit of my discretion today just to determine, instead of just being a mechanical kind of like bot and just being like, yeah, no, there's no key level, so I'm not taking it. Even though, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie, no key level for me is usually a bit of a bit of a deal breaker, but in this situation, it definitely wasn't. So overall, coming into the market, I was leaning definitely bullish. Why was I leaning bullish? If you want to look on the higher time frame here, we've manipulated fully lower here, and we put in this higher time frame SMT with this low here. So we had this Tuesday previous day low, and we had an SMT with that low, and we're actively delivering off it. If you want to look to the 15-minute time frame here, we also had above us a 4-hour gap. Now this gap did get tapped, but after this delivery that we had in the overnight session off of this SMT on the higher time frame, what does it look like we have forming here? We have a higher time frame range market maker buy model here. So overall, I was looking pretty bullish here. Just how we were treating the range as well, every single time we were coming into it, it was just screaming bullish to me, right? That's why I was leaning a lot more bullish. We come into a premium gap, we displace higher, right? Come into a premium gap, we displace higher. Everything is basically screaming higher. Now, I could have seen the bear side of things, definitely. If we started opening lower, or maybe opened higher and then manipulate and then started like shitting the bed lower, and then of course I would have ended up changing my narrative and then being obviously leaning towards being bearish again, with this SMT really not having that much significance. But yeah, overall, coming into today, draw liquidity for me was definitely London session highs. And yeah, let's just see what market open ended up doing. Okay, so this is going to be another example of what happened yesterday. We had market ended up slightly opening higher here and generating even more liquidity to the upside, right? And then after this, we ended up getting this failure swing. So right, this is it. So this is like the pattern trade. This is not even a pattern trade. This is like a FOMO shit trade that I've seen a lot of people ended up taking. What is the problem? Not even a lot of people end up taking this. I've just seen a few people end up taking this, but there's no logic behind this, because at this time the S&P 500 was like around here as well, so it hadn't even manipulated anything. We had manipulated literally nothing. If you want to cope and argue some fact, well then I guess you could say, oh, we hit off the 30-minute rejection block. Suck a dick, respectfully. Okay, sorry, that was mean, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, overall, like, the narrative here is definitely not pushing higher. Like, at the moment, we still have yet to manipulate on either asset. So this was a complete hands-off situation for me. The one thing about this though is that you do have some good low resistance liquidity building up to your draw, being London session highs, which is all the way up here. So we have some low resistance within this leg building up to this draw that we put in at 858, and the displacement is like tempting, right? The displacement is really nice on this candle, but yeah. Even like slight things like looking at the rejection that we had, like it's not like a body closure high. It's just like the close is really good, don't get me wrong, like it's a really huge displacing candle to the upside, but the narrative behind this trade is just bad. It's just poor, it lacks narrative, and if it lacks narrative and has no key level, it's going to be a bad trade, right? So then after this, we ended up putting in this failure swing higher here, generating more liquidity to the upside, and of course, as we know, this setup gets literally slaughtered in like one candle. Then this was when I ended up, so I knew that was right, hold on, okay, well, whatever, and getting like this kind of stop hunt run here where we just completely take out these lows one more time. Then at this point we ended up putting an SMT in with ES, right? And then after this we got this candle right here, which is my long entry. Now you're kind of looking at this and you're like, oh, well, this is not good. But if we want to look at the S&P 500, this is where it really gets interesting, and this is why the setup was so clean, right? So as we can see on the S&P 500, we ended up having a failure swing to C of the range, and then what do we do in market open? We generate liquidity higher, right? And then we manipulate with that little failure move, which we had on the S&P 500 as well, right here, stop hunt into like an hourly gap, where we sweep out this hourly low instead of an hourly gap, and we have an SMT, and we wick C of the higher time frame range, being the hourly range, 4-hour kind of range here. Oh, well, I just got sent back to the moon. Okay, cool. As you can see, I have it marked out here from London session to the bottom here. Look how nicely we interact with 0.5. You can see it right here. Ignore this. I can't really do it. Wait, hold on. Let me just... Right here. This line right here, this black line, that's 0.5 of the range. Look how nicely we interact with that, and then right after, look at the reaction that provides. Now, this is a narrative because we've actually manipulated it into an area where we could continue moving higher. We had a stop hunt, we had an SMT, we had a CE higher time frame range rebalance, and we were proven that this was going to be high probable chance of being the move higher with this great candle that we ended up getting, and this huge displacing candle that instantly closes through this 1 minute fair value gap. Now, yeah, and it also inverses a 2 minute fair value gap at the time. Even while I was looking at this though, this 2 minute fair value gap, it was really small. I wouldn't have taken it if it like inversed it like here. I mean, the narrative was great, but I did want to see like a nice candle, and this 1 minute candle right here at 9:43 was that candle. So I ended up entering longs right here with my stop loss just at the wick, like right here around this range here. So yeah, stop loss was kind of just placed right here, and with this I was just going for like a 1-to-1. It was slightly a bit more than a 1-to-1. I think I aimed for like around like 100 points. I don't know, it's kind of like right here, and break even was going to be at the internal high. And overall, I would have held this to London because I was super confident in this being London session. London session liquidity was definitely going to be our next draw after this super clean higher time frame manipulation backed with the lower time frame manipulation. This was super clean, but yeah, I don't want to mess up my consistency rule on the funded, so I made around $558 today, so a pretty solid day. And yeah, this was like my take profit. I think I entered this trade with around 3 micros, so I was risking around 500, 480-ish on this trade, and ended up making, or I think I was risking like maybe 400, around 400-ish on this trade, ended up making around 558. And this trade goes, yeah, this candle was fantastic. Once I seen this candle start to print higher, I was like, yeah, if this setup fails, I'll like, I don't know, like run around the street naked or something. Like, it's just not going to happen. And then it went to take profit on the next candle here. I didn't even get enough time to go break even. It was that fast. So yeah, overall, super clean setup in my opinion. The only thing wrong with it was that there was no key level, but there was a key level in the S&P 500 with an SMT. The key level wasn't really that clean, but the idea behind this trade wasn't really based off of a key level. It was based off how cleanly the higher time frame manipulated lower there to clear out that liquidity, left the failure swing, had the stop hunt, had everything needed, had the targets, had the draw, had the market maker buy model. Like, it was exactly what I wanted to see happen, and that's exactly what happened. And of course, this trade does end up ripping to London highs as well. Then after this, I think we actually ended up having a sell-off here inside this 4-hour fair value gap. Yep, where we ended up having actually a pretty clean setup here, kind of counter trend with the way we've been moving in this range. But overall, I don't mind this at all. This kind of setup, like any entry around here on this displacing candle, is fine, I believe. And then this does end up running all the way to TPI. Well, after it chops for ages, it does end up running there to the low, and then after this we actually end up sprinting all the way back up, and now we're continuing this higher time frame market maker buy model. Well, it's kind of completed, is it? Yeah, it's kind of been, oh no, it hasn't been completed. We still have previous day high up here, which I think is a potential draw, but we'll see what tomorrow has in store for that. Actually, I won't be trading tomorrow, so good luck to anybody that is. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's trade recap. Pretty simple stuff. If you guys have any questions on why, if you have any questions maybe that I missed something that I didn't talk about or forgot to mention something, definitely leave any questions below in the comments, or if you want to talk to me personally, I'll have my Instagram, Discord, and TikTok linked in the bio of this video. You guys can go check them out, give me a follow or give me a message on any of those platforms, and I'll 100% respond. And yeah, let me know if you guys took anything today as well, if you ended up getting break even, or if you ended up taking a similar trade to me, or maybe the short at the top here. Let me know. I'm always interested to see what other people are taking. It's always cool to see other people growing and learning as well. So yeah, I'm going to be excited for the future of this YouTube channel. I'm going to be documenting my entire journey of profitability. I'm going to be showing people what it takes to actually become profitable. Won't be stopping until it does happen. And I have to, of course, thank every day for even the opportunity to be able to pursue a dream like this and to be able to chase a goal like this. It's all thanks to Jesus Christ himself. So without him, I'd be nothing and I'd be nowhere. So always got to remind yourself and thank yourself for even the things that you might take for granted every day. Always super important. And yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your evening, morning, or night, wherever you may be in the world right now. And I will catch you guys in the next trade recap, which is not going to be tomorrow, but it will be on Monday because I am working tomorrow, so I will not be able to trade tomorrow, unfortunately enough. So yeah, and except for that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.